What is up, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new video. Quick intro, we have the top 5 best guns after update 3.2 for the ones who are curious of which guns to use right now. Quite a lot has changed, the drum mag has been nerfed, the ADS speed is a lot slower, so the top 5 will look a lot different than what it usually would look like before the update. So let's get right into it. I'll be going through what guns they are, also what attachments I recommend using on them and what I personally use at least. Why they're so good and when you should use these type of weapons. So let's get right into it. The first gun will be the Season 1 gun, the BSV. One of the guns that I don't think is really being used that much anymore, even though it's still a very good gun. So the BSV, it came out for Season 1. The tricky part with this gun is that it's a little bit of a slower paced weapon. You need to put it in full auto. It is a marksman weapon, but you can put it in full auto and then it's a lot better. Especially with the right attachments. It's a little bit awkward to use up close, and the gun is definitely a lot worse than what it used to be. It used to be literally the best gun in the game. It's still very good. It has a silencer, so it's hard to predict where you're getting shot from once you're getting shot by it. But it's definitely a underused weapon. It's not very good up close. The mid-range section, that's where this gun will shine. So for the attachments, I personally use the K8 Hollow. I definitely recommend using higher types of zooms as backup. You can put this gun back into single fire and go with the 5x scope that I have right here. And then I have the high power extended, very important. This gun is not higher up on the list, and the reason for that is that it runs out of ammo fairly quickly. So the mag type, it says you have 30 rounds here, it should be 21 when you actually join in the game. Be sure to have backup ammunition. I use the subsonic high power and the subsonic close combat. This is like playing with an SMG, and these two are like long range assault rifle pretty much with kind of slow rate of fire. I have the Cobra grip, makes the gun a lot more accurate if you're static. And then I have the shortened suppressor, which makes the rate of fire a lot higher. I also have the long barrel in case I want to go with like the higher zooms and put it in single fire. You can take out players from a longer range. So that is the BSV setup that I have right here. On to the next gun. This might be kind of a surprise. The XM8 LMG, one of the porter weapons that was from Bad Company 2. This is a weapon that also I don't see used much. The top 3 will definitely be used a lot more, but this one I don't see used that much, and I don't get why. Because the gun, 1, it has almost no recoil, 2, it has a ton of bullets, and it actually has fairly good damage from decent range as well. The damage drop off on this gun is not very high, so you can kill players from a decent range with an LMG with an incredibly fast ADS speed. Some of the LMGs have slower ADS speeds. This one doesn't, so it's actually extremely fast. So what I use on this gun is you can't really have any type of attachments. It's pretty much standard. So you have the standard issue round. I personally like the iron sights. A lot of people use the Cobra sights. And then you have the bipod, and you can't really put any barrels on it. So for the attachments, not a very interesting weapon. When you should use this weapon, pretty much for all type of situations. It can be good up close, up long range. It's a little bit hard to handle because the strafe speed isn't very fast, so it's not very good for Mikael players. Other than that, very good gun. So on to the next one, which will be probably maybe the most used weapon in the game. And it is the M5A3. This gun is kind of the submachine gun type of weapon from the assault rifle class. The AM40 is very good as well, but it has that slow ADS speed right now. So the M5A3, this gun can pretty much win most gunfights, especially with the headshot multiplier that most ARs have in this game right now. So you can build this weapon in multiple ways to where it's very good for mid-range and especially up close range. I think it's one of the fastest killing weapons in the game. And because again that headshot multiplier that the game has to assault rifles, which is I think 2.25, you can 2-shot players with this gun and it will literally feel like you're getting 1 frame by it. So the M5A3, pretty sure it's a weapon you have right away. You need to unlock some attachments for it though, then it gets a lot better. Not the best weapon for mid to long range though, so it's definitely more of a close range assault rifle. So for the attachments that I use on the M5A3, we have the Fusion Hollow. I have the 2x, which I actually use quite frequently for the mid-range targets. Then the Close Combat, which will increase the rate of fire, and I have the Short Barrel, which will increase the rate of fire even more. So these two increase the rate of fire a lot. And I have the extended barrel or extended mag as backup, which is very useful. This kind of turns this gun into an actual assault rifle. This build is more of an SMG build. And then if you switch to the extended mag, you have more of a real assault rifle that can take out players from mid-range. A little bit of a slower rate of fire, but still very good. Then I have the STNR laser sight, which will reduce the recoil, but it will be detectable. That's the only downside of it. But I kind of like to use the laser sight for close range gunfights. It will win them quite frequently for an assault rifle, and then you have lesser recoil as well. So it's kind of a combination of the laser sight and the foregrip. But this laser sight, the STNR laser sight, is definitely more detectable than the normal laser sight. Of course, I have a silencer as backup in case you're on the flank or whatever. You can go with the rap suppressor or the 6KU suppressor. This will completely keep you off the map, and this will keep you off the map from a longer range. Onto the next weapon, which will be the AC-42. This is a gun that I think requires a little bit of skill to get used to. This is I've seen this a lot in the chat. The AC-42, it is a burst weapon, and it definitely requires a little bit of accuracy and good handling. And it takes also a little bit to get used to it. But once you get used to it, it is one of the most broken weapons in the game. I get a one frame by this gun quite a lot, and the reason for that is that if you hit one of the 3 bullets you put out within one burst, it's a headshot. It's a one burst kill pretty much, and that's why it can feel like you're dying extremely fast to the AC-42. Definitely a gun worth using, but again, as I say, it is a gun that requires a little bit of effort to get into, but once it's usable, you're gonna love this weapon. Do not use this weapon in close range situations, not the best. You can get some lucky one burst up close as well. I've seen it happen quite a lot, but it's more based off luck than actual skill and having good aim, so it's not really something you can practice. So recommend this gun for mid-range. The bullet velocity is kind of slow on it, so if you see players from longer range, you have to lead your shots quite a bit, and it might not be worth going for them always, but if they're standing still, you can across the map players with this fairly easily. With the extended mag as well, you're gonna be able to kill a lot of players with just one mag. So for the attachments, again, the fusion hollow. I also use the 6x scope in case I put this gun on single fire. You can actually kill players fairly easily across the map with this gun. And I use the Ghost Hybrid sometimes as well, very good. Extended mag is a must, and then I have these backup ammunitions in case I run out of ammo, but the extended mag is definitely the way to go. If you like using Mikael, go with the LWG grip. Otherwise, going with the laser sight is actually worth it, or you can also go with the foregrip. So for the barrel, I use the tactical compensator. This increases the weapon recoil, but it makes it also more accurate. So sometimes you have a little bit more spray or spread on the weapon, which you don't want there, and this reduces it. So where you're aiming, your bullets will actually be going more consistently. So this will feel like you're getting increased weapon hit registration, but the recoil is worse. But I find that on burst weapons, the recoil isn't too bad in general. So I definitely think this is worth using. So those are the attachments of the AC-42. So the number 1 weapon on the list is the PP29 SMG. This gun, especially after the update now, is the most usable weapon in the game. A lot of people will be surprised by this choice. I think a lot of good players in this game will understand this decision, because it's especially good for going on longer kill streak, going on flanks, trying to kill multiple targets at once. The only down part with this gun, I feel like it's not the best at winning gunfights. It doesn't have the fastest rate of fire, but it has literally everything else. It has a high mag size, so you can kill a lot of players without having to reload. The reload is very fast, however, though. There is not a lot of recoil, and you can kill players from long range and short range fairly quickly for what the gun can do. So for the attachments with this gun is I don't really use a lot of stuff on this weapon. I think it's important to run the rap suppressor, the fusion hollow, and the standard issue rounds, which will increase the rate of fire. This is a must, these two, and then I run the rap suppressor quite a bit. There's no underbarrel you can use on it, and the factory barrel, you can kind of mess around with this, but I honestly just really use the factory barrel for that long that I kind of don't want to switch anymore. So the factory barrel kind of just works for me. But yeah, definitely the best gun in the game right now after the update. It has incredible ADS speed, a lot of ammunition, which a lot of guns that have a lot of ammo right now, you need to require to use the drum mag, so it doesn't really make them usable anymore. So that's why the PP29, I think, is the best gun in the game right now. Again, not the best at winning gunfights, but it can do literally anything else. It can be an assault rifle, it can be working as an SMG with a lot of ammo, kind of works like an LMG in some way as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite weapon is down in the comments. I'm very curious what you guys like the most, especially after the update now. Hopefully this video was useful. Consider subscribing if you haven't yet, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.